Before the election, I was seeing a lot of black and brown folks supporting Trump. And quite often they were talking about the borders and criminals coming in as a reason for supporting him. Those were their concerns, is, safety of American citizens. And that's understandable. In California, the demographics I saw going this way were black and brown folks who had experiences with the justice system. I would say if this were the 70s or 80s, those same black folks in the justice system would identify with oppressed peoples. They saw themselves as oppressed by a racist system that was dominated by white culture. In 2024, these people were now joining the team of the oppressors, and the new second-class citizens were immigrants. You didn't have to be white no more to belong to the oppressor class. You just had to be a U.S. citizen, and the people you were oppressing were immigrants. That's what I think they were given. And so they often talked about some of the crimes associated with immigrants. For the black folks who had experience with the criminal system and once saw themselves as oppressed, when Trump was talking about they're eating the dogs and they're eating the cats, he was talking about Haitian immigrants, black folks. And I know some black folks who are descendants of slaves don't always identify easily with other types of black folks. Maybe because some came here voluntarily. But still, they're black folks. Tren de Aragua, which was often used to promote the importance of getting this under control, is a Venezuelan gang, brown folks, gang members. And it was funny because I'd see videos of American gang members, saying they were out patrolling for other gang members. And again, a lot of the folks who were really promoting this had done a lot of harm to their communities as well. They had criminal backgrounds. And so that doesn't mean people can't change and that their concerns about the safety of folks isn't a noble concern, even if maybe it's founded on misinformation or not, what have you. It's noble to be concerned about the safety of others. And so Trump won. I'm not, I never saw the protest that I saw after the first election. I think that when Trump first won, I became really civically oriented. That's how I coped with his win and feeling like America had rejected people like me. This time he had a much broader coalition of ethnicities and people who were all across. He won a lot of people over. Again, I saw a lot of black and brown support going towards him. And it being founded on immigration, my pocketbook, etc. Well, now that he's won, I've only heard of one protest and demonstration, and it was for DACA kids. And so DACA means Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. These people who are DACA recipients came here as kids. They were brought here as kids. And in order to qualify, they had to have a fairly clean record. They had to be working. They had to be going to school. They were vetted. And so crime is not an issue with them. Some have gone on to achieved master's degrees, PhDs. Some have started nonprofits and work in their communities. Like, I know folks who have been the beneficiaries of DACA that do have a higher education, have very successful careers, and at the same time, a percentage of them that is much, much, much higher than the average population give back in their own time. They a lot of them, almost all the ones I think I know, are advocates in their own time. And so these are folks trying to make America better. Again, they're not breaking laws. They're going to school. They got jobs. They're the best of us. A lot of the people who were on the Trump train and talking about the borders and crime, I've not seen give any of their personal time. Well, I'm not going to say none of them, because some I do see do that. Give of their personal time for their community. Whether it's done from a noble place or not, I can't judge. God can. But they do broadcast it enough that the Bible would lead me to believe they want their reward from men and not from God. But they do for their community. Some, a lot of them don't. But the one thing almost all of them have in common is that they say, I'm for the raza, if they're brown folks. If they're black folks, we're for our people, we're for the black people. And so a lot of them profess a love for their people. And so I saw the criticism of, immigrants who were committing crimes and were being shown on TV doing things they shouldn't be doing and shouldn't be here doing those things. But I've not heard the love side of it for your people. The speaking up for, folks who came here again as children through no choice of their own because their parents were looking for a better life. And they use those opportunities to make something of themselves. And as mentioned, I've only heard of one protest march, and it was last weekend at the California State Capitol, and it was for support of DACA. And I've read a lot of articles from people who received DACA, who live in a constant state of anxiety, in a constant state of fear. They've pretty much spent their whole lives building a life here. And they're afraid that rug could be pulled up out from under them, that their lives could be upended at any moment. And I've seen comment sections where DACA stands for deferred action. Well, it's about time that action occurred. Their parents did it to them. We're not doing it to them. Their parents did it to them. And all those things in some ways are true, but you can't pretend it's about crime and safety when you're saying push these people out who've already proven themselves to be contributing to this country, not taking, not using up my taxes because they're in jail or their kids are in jail, or living on welfare, what have you. They have to work and go to school. And so I don't see the justice in DACA being revoked. And I can't reconcile people saying, well, it's about safety and crime, when you're okay with people who have proven themselves to not be doing that also gone. And I made this video earlier, but I kind of threw sneak jabs at people, and I tried to not do that. I tried to make it about, there's a lot of concern in that community. There's a lot of fear, and people who say they're for their people, whether they be brown or black. This is an opportunity for you to use your platforms to speak up for them. You don't got to speak up for people committing crimes, shown on TV, doing this or that. But if you really are for your people, this might be the future of your people, the ones who were forged in the turmoil of governmental decisions, who got education so they could advocate and make the system work more for everybody. Because if the black man wins in civil rights court, everybody wins. If the brown man wins in civil rights court, everybody wins. Even if the white guys win in civil rights court, because they still fall under a protected class, everybody wins. And that's the message for today. I hope you guys have a good one, and much love.